Sustainable development. Now, renewable energies. Renewable energy refers to energy that is generated from natural sources that are continuously replenished. Now, solar energy, hydel energy, biomass, geothermal energy, ocean thermal energy, cogeneration, fuel cells are different forms of renewable energy. Now, India's installed power capacity by fuels as of 2020 was coal was about 55%, other renewables were 24%, diesel take had a share of one approximately 1%, natural gas had a share of 7%, and nuclear installed capacity was approximately 2%, whereas hydro, which is large facilities, was at 12%. Moving on to solar energy refers to the radiation that is received from sun and is utilized in the form of electricity or thermal energy by using various available technologies like PV cells and solar thermal technology. Now, PV electricity uses PV cells that absorb direct sunlight to produce direct current. Now, concentrated solar power or solar thermal technology uses a solar collector that has a mirrored surface. Now, the mirrored surface reflects sunlight onto a receiver, which in turn heats up a liquid. Steam is then generated from this heated up liquid, which is in turn used to produce electricity. Now, India's current installed power capacity, according to Central Electricity Authority, is 34% of the total renewable energy sources. India's intended nationally determined contribution, that is INDC, commitment to UNFCCC includes 100 gigawatts of solar power out of the 175 gigawatts renewable energy by 2022. The International Solar Alliance was conceived as a coalition of a solar-rich countries lying completely or partially between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn to address their special needs. Now, ISA membership has been recently extended to all member states of the UN, including those lying beyond the tropics. It was launched in COP21 Climate Conference in Paris 2015 by India and France. Now, ISA's major objective includes globally deploying over 1,000 gigawatts of solar generation capacity, as well as mobilizing investment of over $1,000 billion into solar energy by 2030. It is headquartered in Gurugram, India. Now, moving on to One Sun, One World, One Grid. It was an initiative proposed by India to set up a framework for facilitating global cooperation which aims at building a global ecosystem of interconnected renewable energy sources that can be easily shared. Now, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is the parent body. The term Suryaputra was coined by Indian Prime Minister for all the nations which fall between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Moving on to Green Energy Corridor project, which was launched by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. It aims at synchronizing electricity produced from renewable sources like solar and wind with conventional power station grids in the grid. Now, Solar Chakra Mission is an initiative of Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises (MSME), Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Khadi and Village Industries Commission is the implementing agency. Moving on to Global Solar Council, it is an international non-profit association of nationals, regional and international associations in solar energy and world's leading cooperation. It is founded in the 2015 Paris Climate Conference. Moving on to IRENA, International Renewable Energy Agency is an intergovernmental organization that support countries in their transition to sustainable energy future. It is headquartered in Abu Dhabi. Moving on to National Solar Energy Federation, it is a founding member of Global Solar Council. Now, Solar Park Scheme has been launched by Solar Energy Corporation of India. Solar Energy Corporation of India is a central public undertaking under excuse me, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Now, Association of Renewable Energy Agencies of the States, that is area. It has been formed at Ministry of New and Renewable Energy initiative to interact and learn from each other's experience and also share their best practices and knowledge regarding technologies. Now, the area is registered under the Society Registration Act. Union Minister for New and Renewable Energy is the patron of the association and Secretary of MNRE is the ex officio president. So there is a provision of a Patreon and a president. President would be the secretary, and union minister is the patron. Moving on to PM Kishan Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan Abhiyan, that is PM Kusum scheme, has been launched recently by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. The scheme aims to provide energy security along with financial water security to farmers. It will encourage farmers to generate solar power in their farms. The target is to add decentralized solar power capacity of 25,750 megawatts by 2022. Now, components of Kusum scheme are component A, component B, and component C. So, component A is 1,000 megawatts, that is 10 gigawatts of decentralized ground mounted, grid connected renewable power plants. Component B is installation of 2 million standalone solar pumps. Component C is solarization of 1.5 million grid connected solar powered agricultural pumps. Now, farmers can sell the surplus solar power generated off the grid to discoms, thereby increasing their income. Moving on to wind energy. Wind energy refers to the energy generated using the kinetic energy of the wind. Wind turbines convert this kinetic energy into mechanical energy, further converting to electric power to generate electricity. Now, wind farms consist of a group of wind turbines in same location, which is used for production of electricity. A wind farm can be located onshore as well as offshore. Now, India is the world's fourth largest onshore wind market by installation, with 37.5 gigawatts of capacity as of 2019, as a and has a potential of more than 695 gigawatts at 120 meters of distance from the shoreline. Now, as per National Institute of Wind Energy based in Chennai, Western states have larger potential in terms of stable, steady, and speedy wind flow, starting from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka to Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Now, National Offshore Wind Energy Policy 2015 is aimed at exploring and promoting deployment of offshore wind farms in the exclusive economic zone of the country, including those under public-private partnership. Now, National Institute of Wind Energy has been authorized as the nodal agency for the development of offshore wind energy. India's first 1 gigawatt offshore wind project is installed in Gulf of Khambat. Now, solar wind hybrid policy was issued to provide a framework for promotion of large grid connected wind solar photovoltaic hybrid system for optimal and efficient utilization of wind, solar resources, transmission infrastructure, and land. The wind solar PV hybrid system will help in reducing the variability in renewable energy generation. Moving on to hydropower. Now, hydraulic power is generated when water flows from a higher elevation to a lower elevation. This is used to turn turbines, thereby converting the kinetic energy of water into mechanical energy to drive generators. Now, small hydropower is defined as any hydropower project which has an installed capacity of less than 25 megawatts. So, small hydropower is 25 megawatts. India is endowed with a large hydropower potential of 1,45,320 megawatts, of which only about 45,000 megawatts has been utilized so far. Only about 10,000 megawatt hydropower has been added in the last 10 years. Hydropower sector is facing several challenges, and the share of hydropower decline has been from 50.36% in 1960 to around 13% in 1819. Now, Cabinet approved the following measures to promote hydropower sector. Large hydropower projects were declared as renewable energy source. As per the earlier practice, only solar power projects of less than 25 megawatts were categorized as renewable power energy source. Now, hydropower purchase obligations were declared as a separate entity within the non-solar renewables purchase obligation. Tariff rationalization measures were taken, including flexibility to developers to determine tariff by backloading of tariff after increasing project life to 40 years. Now, budgetary support was provided for funding flood moderation component of hydro project on case-to-case basis. Now, budgetary support was also provided for funding cost of enabling infrastructures, example roads, bridges, on a case-to-case basis. Moving on, other forms of renewable energy. Ocean thermal energy. It uses temperature difference between surface of the ocean and the depth of about 10,000 1,000 meter to operate a heat engine which produces electric power. Now, co-generation involves producing two forms of energy using one fuel. One form of energy is heat, and the other may be electricity or mechanical energy. Moving on to schemes to support production of biomass-based congregations in sugar mills and other industries in the country has been launched by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. It will provide central financial assistance for projects utilizing biomass like crop residues, bagasse, weeds, wood, wood waste produced in industrial operations. However, municipal solid waste is not covered in the program. Now, waste to energy technology converts non recyclable waste into usable forms of energy. The heat from combustion of waste generates superheated steam in boilers. This steam drives turbo generators and produces electricity. This technology can help reduce the amount of waste available for disposal and at a time help generate electricity from it. Some techniques at waste to energy technology includes incineration, gasification, pyrolysis, and biomethylation. However, high cost, choice of technology, and improper segregation of waste remains a major challenge in its effective use. Moving on to geothermal energy, it refers to the harnessing of geothermal energy or the vast reservoir of heat stored in Earth's inner core. Now, potential sites for geothermal energy are Pugga Valley in Jammu and Kashmir, Tatapani in Chhattisgarh, Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh, Bakeshwar in West Bengal, Tuwa in Guwahati, Unai and Jalgaon in Jalgaon in Maharashtra. So, ONGC has planned to implement India's first geothermal energy project at Ladakh. Moving on to fuel cells generate electricity through an electrochemical process. The fuel cell combines hydrogen and oxygen to generate an electric current, water being the only byproduct. There are no moving parts in the fuel cell, so they are more efficient and reliable by comparison. Now, fuel cells have an efficiency of around 55% compared to 35% of the conventional power plants. Moving on to biomethanation, it is a scientific process whereby anaerobic microorganisms in the anaerobic environment decompose biodegradable matter, producing methane rich biogas and effluents. Pyrolysis refers to heating of organic materials such as biomass in absence of oxygen. Moving on to certain miscellaneous provisions. Now, pointer for prelims. Biojet fuel is a blend of Jatropha oil and aviation turbine fuel. Now, Jatropha is a plant of Latin American origin. It is a drought resilient perennial plant. Jatropha oil is directly used in diesel engines. Jatropha seed cakes makes an excellent organic fertilizer with high nitrogen content. It can be used as a livestock feed. It can also be used as an insecticide and fungicide. Now, biofuels. It is any hydrocarbon fuel that is produced from organic matter in a short period of time. First generation biofuels uses food crops like wheat for making ethanol. Second generation biofuels uses not food crops like wood, grass, organic waste. Third generation uses specially engineered algae. So algae is used in third generation. Second generation uses non-food crops, and the first one will use food crops. Now, fourth generation biofuels aims at producing sustainable energy, but also a way of capturing and storing CO2. So, carbon sequestration also takes a helm at fourth generation. Moving on, however, requirement of high level of technology and resultant high cost is a major impediment in its adoption. Carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation, that is CORSIA, is the International Civil Aviation Organization's resolution for a global market-based measure to address CO2 emissions from international aviations from 2021 to 2035. Now, methane hydrate is a solid calharate compound with a large amount of methane is trapped within crystal structure of water, forming a solid similar to ice. Now, large amount of methane are frozen on Arctic tundra soils and in marine sediments, including gas hydrates. As Earth's climate warmed, the methane is vulnerable to possible release into atmosphere. Now, net metering is a billing mechanism to that credits solar energy system owners for the electricity they add to the electric grid. Now, PM Jan Jeevan PM Jeevan scheme under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas will provide financial support to integrated bioethanol projects using the lingosalicylate biomass and other renewable feedstocks. Now, 2G ethanol projects will be provided by ability gap funding support over the next 6 years. The ethanol produced will be mandatory supplied to oil marketing companies to further enhance the blending percentage of ethanol blended petrol program. The government has fixed a target of 10% ethanol blending by 2022 and 20% by 2030. This has changed. Center for High Technology, a technical body under the aegis of Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, will be the implementing agency for the scheme. Now, START, which is Sustainable Alternative Towards Affordable Transportation Initiative, was launched by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. It is aimed at setting up compressed biogas production plants and making it available in the market for use in automotive fuels. Now, Gobardhan scheme, which is galvanizing organic bioagro resources scheme, has been launched to convert cattle dung and solid waste in farms to compressed biogas and compost. Moving on to REN 21, Global Renewable Energy Policy, multi-stakeholder network that connects a range of key actors from governments, international organizations, and industry associations. It is an international non-profit association and its secretariat is based in UN Environment in Paris, France. Now, moving on to Energy Agency. It was founded in 1974 to help countries collectively respond to oil supply disruptions. It is an autonomous body within the OECD. No, only OECD member state can become members of IEA. Accordingly, India is not a member of IEA but is an associate member. Now, moving on to Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, that is IREDA. It is a public limited government company. It was established as a non-banking financial institution in 1987 and lies under the administrative control of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. It is engaged in promoting, developing, and extending the financial assistance for renewable energy and energy efficiency conservation projects with motto Energy Forever. Moving on to National Policy on Biofuels 2018, which was made by Ministry of Natural and Renewable Energy. Its major points include it categorizes biofuels into basic biofuels and advanced biofuels. Now, basic biofuels are the first generation bioethanols and biodiesels. Advanced biofuels includes the second generation ethanol, municipal solid waste to drop-in fuels, and third generation biofuels. Also, bio-CNG is also included. Moving on to viability gap funding scheme for 2G bioethanol refineries. So, it was included in the national policy of biofuels. Expand the scope of raw materials for ethanol production by allowing use of sugarcane juice, sugar containing materials like sugar beet, starch containing materials like corn and cassava, damaged food grains like wheat, and rotten potatoes unfit for human consumption for ethanol production. It allows for the use of surplus food grains for production of ethanol. However, it needs the approval of National Biofuel Coordination Committee headed by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. That'll be it.